A long time ago, I heard someone make a statement with regard to marriage, and it stayed with me down through the years. They simply said, expectations destroy relationships. Now, everybody enters marriage with unrealistic expectations because there are actually 6 people at the marriage altar when the marriage takes place. First of all, there's the girl she thinks she is, the girl he thinks she is, and the girl she really is. Then there's the man he thinks he is, the man she thinks he is, and the man he really is. 6 different people standing at the marriage altar. And after marriage, usually within a very short period of time, 4 of these people fade away, and the real people come into clear, sharp focus. Now, many of the conflicts we have in our marriage come about as a result of trying to conform our spouse to our own set of expectations and ideals. Many of us have believed and accepted the lie that it's my responsibility to change my spouse. And the truth is, God wants to use your spouse to change you. Now, that's not a negative. That's something good. That's something we need to embrace and welcome as a positive. As Christians, God is in the process of developing the character of Christ in each one of our lives. And that's why He put you in the family that you're in. That's why He gave you the spouse and children that you have, even with all their idiosyncrasies and faults and personality quirks. Because we are all in process. We are all in different stages of character development. And that's why we need to learn to be patient and to respond to others with the graciousness and kindness of Christ. The leaders of a mission organization became very concerned because 50% of their missionaries were dropping out even before their first term of service was over. And as the leaders investigated the causes, they discovered that 80% of those who left did so for one reason. They couldn't get along with their fellow missionaries. Now, here were missionaries who were trained to share the love of God with other people, and yet they were unable to love each other. One investigator went a step further, and he discovered that the reason why they couldn't get along with their colleagues was because they reminded each other of members of their own family with whom they'd never learned to get along. God is determined to build in each of us the character of His Son. And that's why He's given us the brothers and sisters and other family members that we have. And if we react to them and reject them and become bitter, then God will often bring other people into our lives that offend us or annoy us in those very same ways. Because God's determined to teach us those beautiful Christ-like qualities such as kindness and forgiveness and meekness and patience. Often a young person who has had difficulty getting along with one or both of their parents will get married, and within just a short period of time will say to their spouse, "You remind me of my mom," or "You remind me of my dad." Do you see what God's trying to do? Don't run away from it. Don't reject it. Instead, embrace it. God will pack our children and our spouse and others full of character building opportunities so that we can learn and reflect to others the gentleness of Jesus. Each of us has a multitude of character deficiencies. The Bible calls it sin. And sometimes we make excuses for it by saying, well, that's just the way I am. But God wants to change the way you are. And He wants to make you more and more like Jesus Christ. Often the older we get, the more ornery and cantankerous we become. But that shouldn't be true for the Christian. The older we get, the more like Jesus we should become. And those around you should see that transformation gradually taking place before their eyes. Don't try to change your spouse to conform to your expectations and ideals. Allow God to use your spouse and others to help conform you more and more to God's ideal, the character of Jesus Christ.